Hello everybody, it is me once again, and I'm remaking the Sandalphon video, the guide for Sandalphon, because I didn't like how the last one turned out. The audio was really messed up, you could barely hear me, I was yawning, I was kind of tired when I made it, so I'm redoing it and making it a little bit more concise for you guys. So, okay. We have Sandalphon, our glorious king and the supreme primarch of the game. He's a timing-based character like Siegfried and Gondagoza, although his is the quickest of the three. You would have Gondagoza being the slowest with his buttons, Siegfried being in the middle, and our boy Sandalphon here being the fastest of those timing based characters. So as you can see, he has the timed version of his combo, which is 5 hits, I believe. Sorry, I'm just trying to get it right for you guys. And his finisher. So what he gains, and this is his if you're just mashing the button, he just gets this. So you always want to get the timed version because that's just overall beneficial to you. You gain more of your Archangel gauge, and you always want to have your Archangel gauge up at all times, as much as possible during the fight. The difference being, this does less damage. This right here does less damage, and you just don't gain as much of your Archangel gauge. And the finisher also grants you a pretty good amount. Next is his light step. His light step is a very good move. I like it a lot. It gives him this follow-up move that kind of is pretty good. It starts off your combo, and just for a little tip, and if you want to visually know how to do the combo instead of, for me, I play on PS5, so I have the haptic feedback on, so that helps me like not have to use my eyes as much, because there can be a lot going on the screen sometimes. That helps me with the timing, but to visually know, and eventually you'll get the muscle memory down to just do it whenever you see fit, is whenever you see during his swings, you want to press the next attack. But as soon as the sword makes contact with the target, that's kind of like the best advice I can give you. But yeah, back to his light step. His light step, it uses a little bit of meter if you use it over and over. So try not to. In his Primarch form, in his chromatic wings, that's what it's called, the buff, that's what it's called when he has all his wings. That's his Archangel form. It doesn't use any of his meters, so you can use it however you like, and I'll show you what it looks like later whenever I get into that. It allows for this follow-up. You can move backward, you can move left to right, you can move forward. It has very good like invincibility frames and very good perfect dodge frames. So if you have the confidence to, you can just light step into an attack, dodge it if you have something like Nimble Onslaught on, and you can just benefit from that. And the range is pretty decent. I'll say like from here to from about here to here, you can get and granted, yes, you have to have good reaction time for it, but you're always going to be rewarded for it. Like, you automatically get to start a combo if you press light, and yeah, it's just great overall for that. And the mobility, you can cancel it with a dodge, you can do a dodge and then attack like that. You can actually do it, and you can delay the attack really well too. It's definitely a versatile, like, I would say that the best Sandalphon player will be very reactionary and very good with their usage of light step into his combo to get as much windows of opportunity as possible. He'll probably be very good with nimble onslaught. If you really don't think or have that much of a confidence in your ability to dodge and weave attacks with light step, you can also just use flight over fight. But I myself am trying to not use flight over fight as much because I'm just leaving a lot of damage to be desired, you know, and flight over fight does cut your damage over by 50%, and it's okay because, you know, you got to be alive to do damage, but I'd like to be a little bit better than and have more damage on the board, you know, like a little skill goes a long way, you know. So we have his light step, his combo, jikes. Great combo. Yeah, like, he can actually, I found that, and this is also a reason why I need to remake this, I found that you can kind of, with Gondagoza and Siegfried, you can kind of store his their animation, like you animation skip with them with their combos with dodges, and you do that with light step. You don't really do that with you would have to be a little bit, it just takes a little bit of practice to get used to, because you're not really you just have to be a little bit more flexible with your timings with how you like to do that. Yeah, see, stuff like that. Instead of, you would, because with Siegfried and Gondagoza, you would dodge instead. You would, and you can do it. I just think it's better to do it with light step instead, because one, you just have way more range with it. You can, like, swerve around enemies, you can back up, you can go back in. It's just an overall great move to always keep in your pocket and make sure you're using it effectively. Yeah, just stuff like that. Like, play around with it, and you'll see that the possibilities with this is just amazing. Like right here, you could, you know, store Yeah, like something like that, you know? Like, you know, you have to weave in and out. You can do that. It's just an overall amazing tool. So now that we got that out of the way, oh, before I forget, you can charge your gauge by just holding your light step button. Again, I'm on PS5, so that's triangle for me. His link attacks also generate more, I'll call it AG for now, his Archangel gauge. Also amazing that he gets that as well. Finishers also contribute to that. You'll probably do, like, if you're only doing combos to generate his Archangel gauge, you'll probably take about 5 full combos. Well, 4 to 5 good full combos, because every full combo would, like, with everything timed and with the finisher, maybe a link attack in there, 1 or 2 link attacks in there, you probably get around like a quarter to a fifth of your bar with each combo, without a doubt. So 4 to 5 combos, and 4 or 5 in that range, because maybe you missed an attack or something like that. So there's also that as well. Just be careful you're not using this too much, because I mean, you can do it if you have a lot of meter for it, and you don't, you know, it's maybe a phase where you can get your Archangel gauge up quick anyway is coming up. This right here is the downside to not having any meter when you're using light step. He goes into a lot of lag afterwards. You see that right there? I couldn't do anything. I mean, I could dodge out of it, but that's about it. You can attack out of it as well, because that's just part of his stance. So yeah, just keep that in mind. So if you're gonna use this and spam it, make sure you're canceling it. And the frames at which he is invincible are a little bit lessened, and his perfect dodge window is a little bit lessened with that, in my experience. Like, you can kind of see with the animation, it's not as like good. Now if I had meter, you know, it kind of goes a little bit further. Not by much, but it looks a little bit further, right? Yeah, that's no meter.
By these chromatic wings.
It looks like it's going a little bit further. Maybe not. But the invincibility frames is definitely not as great. Definitely not as great. Now let's move on to his not his combos, sorry. His skills. I'm just gonna show off the skills that I have right now. No Way Out, gap closer, amazing gap closer. Goes very far. It's pretty much like Normaya's gap closer, but a little bit better, because it has like a bigger hitbox, and I'm not sure if it goes further, but it does go very far. But hers goes very far as well. It generates gauge. It's amazing. I'm just gonna have to do this real quick for the sake of time.
Let's finish this quickly.
Gap closer gives you meter. You can do a finisher afterwards. Has pretty good stun on it. I find myself contributing to stun really well with that. Both the move and the finisher that you can get afterwards grants you meter, so that's great. The cooldown for it, let me look at my notes here, is what, 25 seconds, and it does really good damage as well. Like, the damage it does is not to be slept on. It is not to be slept on. I'm sorry, I yawned again, but we're just gonna have to go with it. His combos are not combos. Sorry. Yeah. And when I say 25 seconds, I mean without any quick cooldown or cascade cutting it down. The only on this build that I have for him specifically, I don't have any of that for him. I have Gamma, but that's only after I do an SBA, so that's not even coming into effect at the moment. Okay, on to his next skill, Revontulette. This is my favorite move that he has. My favorite skill that he has, absolutely hands down. Because just look at it. It's an amazing move. Like, that's aura right there. Come on. Anyway, this also grants meter. Also, you can get a finisher afterwards. Also get a finish. You also get meter from the finisher as well. Any finisher, relatively, you're just gonna get it. Ecliptica, also great. Oh, before I get to that, this has an amazing stun. Like, you see that? Yes, I'm, kind of offensive right now, but the amount of stun that this move does is it's very big. Like, you will see yourself using this to very quickly cap off, like, the link bar, to get link attacks off. This is very good at initiating link attacks. And like I said before, the link attacks also give you a meter, and the cooldown for this is pretty high. It's about 80 seconds. It's not the most high of all his moves, but it's still pretty long, so don't miss this move. Like, please just don't miss it. You don't have to worry about the individual hitbox of it, so because it's all just one big hitbox, one big sudden hitbox. Well, it has like 2 hitboxes, so just don't miss it. Yes, you'll get it back. It's not like you're never gonna get it back, but it leaves a lot to be desired. It never feels good whiffing that. So 80 seconds is the cooldown. Great move, great damage, great stun. Probably his hardest hitting move, actually. Yeah, this is his hardest hitting skill, bar none. And I'll give you a sort of ranking on how the damage of the skills go. Ecliptica. Also, get the finisher. Great time. Has good damage. Like, for its speed, it has really good damage. And its range, so you're not gonna have to worry about being up close or whatever. And all of these finishers, you don't have to actually land the move to get the finisher. You just have to do it after the move. Like, I'll show you now. With I'll be all the way over here, Revontulette, and I still get the finisher. I just have to press the button after. This Ecliptica has about 20 seconds on cooldown, so don't be afraid to throw this out. You're gonna get what you paid for in a 20-second cooldown move. You see, it doesn't do that great of stun damage. I mean, that's a little bit, but relatively to like bosses and stuff, it's not going to be that much. The damage is still good on it. It's not that high, but it's a 20-second cooldown range move. It doesn't get that much better, and it gets you meter and a finisher that gains you more meter. So it's not like it's a 20. It's one of the best like really low cooldown moves because he doesn't have one like Zeta or Lancelot where they can shoot multiples on one cooldown, multiple projectiles on one cooldown. He just has the 4 that he throws and then that's it. Yeah, just great move, 20% cooldown, amazing. Now, Talvio, this move is great. It's one of his best moves also. All his moves are just really great. Well, the ones that I have here, and I'll get to the other ones later. This move is amazing because this is me mashing the button. It says you have to, it can be well timed, but you can just mash it and be fine. But you can also delay the first 3 pretty well. After that, it gets a little bit tricky on delaying. And you can move around as well. And you're completely invincible with this, by the way. It's not gonna, you're not gonna get hit out of it at all. It's like Flashing Void, I think. Yodarha's move where he Flashing Void, I think, yeah. Where he does attacks over and over, and I think this has beams too. It's not just like, oh no, it does not. He's all invisible in this move. Don't worry about getting hit. The one thing, and what makes this move the best move, one of his best moves, one of his best skills, is I will go. Let me just restart this. I don't want to do that. I don't want to go around the arena doing that. Anyway, so you'll see that I do not gain meter with Talvio, and you'll be like, why? It's a damage move, and he gets like a follow-up from it too. But I only get it with that finisher. But look at how much I got. I only had to land, and you only have to land the last hit of that finisher of Talvio to actually do anything. Not to actually do anything, sorry. To fill up your gauge. It doesn't matter if you're at 0 or you're at 99% of your gauge, it will fill up 100%. And the cooldown is very long. It's actually one of his highest cooldown skills in the game. Or to him. Excuse me, because there are longer cooldowns in the game. 120 seconds. It's a lot, but it's worth it in my opinion because it has the second highest damage in his skill kit, and like all the attacks lined up together, it does a little. It does like I'd say 80% the damage of Revontalet, and that's pretty good. While being invincible, it's pretty good. It's pretty lenient on the timing. You just have to be a little cautious of pressing the button too late if you're gonna delay them, because you can press it as fast as you want and you won't miss the timing on either one of them. That doesn't matter. But if you do it too late, then the move goes on cooldown and you don't get your gauge because you didn't finish the move. So as long as you finish the combo and you land the ending part of it, it will give you full gauge and you will just have a good time. Because we'll get to why you'll have a good time when I get to the chromatic wings section. Breath of Life, I'm gonna go through. I'm not gonna actually perform those moves, those skills, because I don't really care to. Breath of Life, it heals for about half your health, but it's like a potion for everybody essentially. It's like a blue potion, but you don't gain any link time for it or link percentage for it. But it just heals everyone. It's a good time. It like when you're just starting out, yeah, you can like if you haven't leveled up Sandalphon and gotten all his skills and stuff, then fine, by all means use it. But by the end of the game, you're probably not going to, and there's a reason for that. Um, and I'll get to that in the other section. I'll get into that in the Archangel section of the game, of the guide. The power of one. Oh, this is the cooldown for this. I keep forgetting the cooldowns. The cooldown for this is 35 seconds. So it's actually like not bad as a healing option. Especially if you have like Cascade and quick cooldown, you could probably shave that down to like about 20 to 25 seconds, depending on what your build is looking like. All right, it's good, but I'll get to why you probably won't have it equipped by the end game. The power of one is a buff to your entire party: attack, defense, crit rate 20%. Sounds good on paper, but I'll let you know that you're probably not going to be using this either, because you're only really at the end of the game you're probably only benefiting from the 20% buff to defense, because most people are hitting their damage caps either way. So, and 20 defense for 45 seconds, that's how long the buff lasts for, and goes on a very long cooldown of 120 seconds. Just like Telvio. It's just not worth it, you know. So it's cool when like let's say you just got the game and you want to just play him out the gate. You buy him, and you play through the game as him. By all means, go for it if you really want to, because you have to actually get through all that to get him to level 100 anyway. So by all means, play it, do it if you like it, use it. Yeah, I don't use it because it doesn't serve my purposes anymore. Alone in Heaven is a paralysis parry. I don't use it simply because parries are okay for me. Like I don't mind the parries in this game, but unless it's Narmaya's, I don't see like why this. I can see why you would want to use this. Like if you're, like I said, you're just starting out the game and you're playing him. By all means, yes, do that. You'll have a great time. You'll be paralyzing enemies and getting his paralysis off. It'll be a fun time. It has not the worst cooldown. It actually has a pretty good cooldown. So in the sense of it having a good cooldown, it being a good parry, and having paralysis, a pretty decent paralysis too. Like you see how long that is, and that's probably not like the maximum amount, because you could contribute a little bit more to it through masteries. You wouldn't normally use this on like Lucilius and stuff like that, because he just doesn't get paralyzed. Only way to really stun him is through SBAs. So yeah, you can take that to other fights though. Take that to other fights and you'll have a good time. And his last one is Ethereal Prison. And sorry. It's good at low levels. Like if you're just like, yeah, again, like I feel like these last 4 skills are only good if you're just playing through the game. You're just starting to play through the game, and you unlocked him because you saw that he was super sick, cool, nasty. yes, I would have this on at all times if I was just playing the game. Honestly, if I just started the game, it probably would be like Breath of Life, Ethereal Prison, No Way Out, and like Revontulet, and maybe yeah, Ethereal Prison, Breath of Life, No Way Out, Revontulet. Maybe I'll swap out and see how what I like. But relatively, at the end of the game, you're probably gonna be rocking what I'm rocking, which is No Way Out, Revontulet, Ecliptica, and Talvio. So yeah, what this does is it's basically War Elemental as a skill. It does a little bit of damage, not too much damage, but a little bit of damage. Um, but in Chromatic Wings, it does remove a buff from your foes. From as you can see, and I'll get to the other ones as well. It removes a buff, which is it can be really good. Like Zeta has a move that removes a buff, and that's also great. I think Rosetta does as well. It would make sense if she does, but I'm not sure if she does. I'm not too well versed in Rosetta, so I won't speak on her. Um, yeah, her elemental, oh, not her. His elemental friction debuff is basically War Elemental. You just always hit for the weakness element of the enemy. The the debuff lasts for about 30 seconds, and the cooldown is 120 seconds. So it's not the greatest. It's not the greatest, but I can see why you would want to use this early on. But again, even early on, this one and this one is very specific. So and I'll get into that right now actually, because when you are in Chromatic Wings, when you have Chromatic Wings, this form right here, this illustrious godlike form, your skills change, and they will always be this. You can't change them, but it's pretty much the best. Not I won't say best, but like the most versatile setup you can have. This I don't use that much unless I just want to put a little bit of damage on the board, and oh, it has actual some pretty good stun damage as well. I actually didn't notice that before. So it has some pretty good stun damage. It doesn't have the greatest damage. Like it has alright damage, but it's okay. Stun damage is a little bit better. So you have Ethereal Prison. This removes a buff. Also as that debuff that we explained before. It does a little bit more damage, so that's also great as well. No Way Out has even more hits, is stronger, goes further, and it's faster. It's just overall just a better move, period. Just a better move, and it's amazing to have. Breath of Life. Now this removes all your debuffs and heals you for 100%, not even 100% of your health, but a little bit more than 100% of your health. I'd say about like 110-ish% of your health, around there. So yeah, there. I'll get the full meter here. I won't do that finisher. Anyway, Breath of Life, and also all these have the same amount of cooldown in your form, and this form here. Remove a buff or remove debuffs, all debuffs, and heals for more than full health. for every character. Like, not just like before. It's about half. It's full, but it's like relative to every character. Revon Tillet. Oh, also before I get into that, he has that. These are. This is me mashing his regular attack, by the way. Sorry, I actually should have went. Let me do that. Let me do that. Actually, I should have went into it. I should have went into his basic attacks first and come back with. I got carried away with the skills that he has, but his move, his regular attack becomes this. This is just me mashing. You can press at the when he does the slam down. You can press light step button to do the finisher, but it has to be at that moment. You can't do it like afterwards or before too much beforehand. I mean, you can kind of mash it after. Like, you're not gonna miss it just because. Like, and it's not hard to time too, because he like does like a whole thing. So there is that. Damn, I wish I could just have like unlimited chromatic wings for like a second. But anyway, in chromatic wings, he has that as his basic attack, and I'll get into a little bit of tech that he has later when I go back to the skills. Actually no, I'll go into it now. When you do his combo, right, and you do the finisher, you can just keep pressing the button and then go straight back into the flurries of strikes. Just after the thing, you can just start mashing again and just keep going. But that's not the optimal way to play him, and I'll get into that later. You get the combo finishers after every skill, just the same. Well, not after every skill, excuse me. After No Way Out and Relink, just like in the base form of the skills, you get it just fine. Granted, it's a different one because, you know, he's in a different form, and then you just go back to slashing, get in, start doing a lot. Revon Tillet. I think it has a little bit more range. I'm not too sure. It looks like it does, but I'm not sure. No, I don't think it does. I don't think it does. But it does have more effects for sure. For sure has more effects. You can do that as well. Oh, also his light step. His light step is pretty much the same. It just, I want to say it goes a little shorter, but it could be like just the visual noise of him being in that form. Yeah, so you do the thing, you do the combo finisher, you can go right into it, right back into the flurry strikes. It's a good time. Again, they have all the same cooldowns that they had before. Yeah, the light step doesn't go as far. Yeah, for sure the light step does not go as far, but he already has like increased movement speed in this form, so it's not by much. It's not by much. And when you light steps, you actually like send like this light beam wave that you can just damage with. Like, it's actually pretty good. Like, DPS, it's not the greatest, obviously not the greatest in his toolkit, but like, if you for some reason find yourself like very far away, you can just just do this, you know? Like, it has a lot of hits, does a lot of damage. Not a lot of damage, but for the build that I'm rocking, it does what? What does that say? About like 10,000 damage. Is that it? No, about 100,000 damage, which isn't bad. From being far away and being able to like spam it like this, yeah. And you also get, you still get that a follow-up as well, just a little bit better. So yeah, so that is why I said before, you're probably gonna end up with this setup in terms of skills, is because everything else that you get, like Revon Toilette and No Way Out, is just too good to not have. Ecliptica is like also too good to not have. Like all four of these just contribute to having chromatic wings, which is just like the better form to be in at all times. He just does more damage. He's a little bit faster. He can gap close much easier. He has this skill and this skill, and these two skills you can kind of go without, so really is your preference. I think you can get oh, sorry about that. I am so sorry. I think you can get a more, you can get a little damage, not damage, sorry, Archangel Gauge, sorry. I think you get Archangel Gauge. I haven't personally used Alone in Heaven because I kind of bought him and leveled him up and then kind of just decided, hey, these are the skills to have. I don't know if you get meter for this as well, but if you do, that's great. I know you don't get it for this, so that's why I don't really care for it as much. Same obviously with these two, these aren't damage dealing, so yeah. So probably if that's the case, you do. I would say you're still probably not going to use this regardless. So that's really, use it at your discretion. I'll say that. I'm not totally against Alone in Heaven, but I'm just saying that you're probably going to get better results with these four here. These four skills right here. So, let's see if there's anything else that I'm missing. We went over his attacks in both forms. Went over his light step in both forms. Link attack. Everything that does damage essentially generates Archangel Gauge. So, oh, also there are two buffs that he gets in Chromatic Wings. He gets Stout Heart, and Chromatic Wings gives him resistance to all sorts of status effects. Now that does not negate his ability. It does not negate Glass Cannon's effect to dizzy when you get hit. So if you're gonna do that, you're still gonna have to run Potent Greens so that if you get hit, you can heal yourself and dispel yourself of that affinity, that status effect. So that, I think that's pretty much it. Oh, I gotta go over his SBAs. His SBAs at this moment right now, Einsolf are when he's in his base form. Does pretty good damage.
Steel.
Oh, let's do this. Uh, full. Yes, 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 yes.
Let's finish this quickly.
Then
Keep up. All right. Bet.
Paradise Lost is his second one. I will show it off
Wide open.
right now. Oh my god, I did not want to do that.
Behold these 6 wings.
Okay. Then Paradise Lost.
Shall not die.
For some reason, and I don't understand this, Einsoft R does more damage than Paradise Lost, and that doesn't really make sense to me considering this should be his like more powerful form. They might fix that. I'm not sure. I feel like it should be at least like 20 to 30% stronger, in my opinion. But you know, it is what it is. It still does relative the same amount. I think there's something else I'm missing. That I think that should be it. In terms of sigils, okay. In terms of sigils, I think he's pretty varied. Like, see here, you can have a little bit of attack on him, and it really just depends on your comfortability on how you want to play him. You could have flight over fight on him, really use that. You can have Spartan Echo on. I feel like that's another thing about this patch, is that you can have every character has their leanings, but you can pretty much play any character how you want to play them. It's just an AFK setup. That doesn't really mean anything. I would say you want prioritize awe, but if you have awakening, that's not bad either. Nimbus just doesn't really do much. Oh, one more thing about chromatic wings. You can end chromatic wings early. That's the last thing I was just thinking of. That I thought I forgot. That I was forgetting. Sorry about that. I'm so sorry to hear you guys hearing that phone call in the background, or whoever calling in the background. You can hold chromatic wings to do this finisher. Hold the light step button to do that finisher, and it'll take you out of the form. Also, if you die, it'll take you out of the form as well, but that's for pretty much all the kind of super forms in this game. If you die, it knocks you out of it. Yeah, in terms of gear, obviously have your ascension weapon. Try and get that as high as possible. His defender weapon isn't bad either. Like, it comes with guts, stronghold, and greater aegis, so that's pretty good, just all things considered. I'm probably gonna have to change this at some point, the imbue on it. It's not that it's just I think I could do a little bit better on the imbue. Yeah, just have your ascension weapon maxed out, as try and get all his masteries. In terms of his over masteries, I can't quite get the desired one that I want, which is 20 damage cap and 20% on normal damage cap, normal attack damage cap, and maybe like some skybound art, like, and chain burst damage cap up. Maybe stun in place of the chain burst damage cap, but just his, at the very least, you want to have your normal attack damage cap as high as possible, and your skill damage cap up as high as possible, especially your skill damage cap, because I believe he has very strong skills, and if you enable them to shine, he does do a lot of damage. So yeah, yeah, and I think that'll be it. That's gonna be it for this guide. um Thank you guys for watching, and have yourselves a good one. Enjoy the character, and that'll be it. Peace.